So I said that I would film one of these a long time ago, probably twice, probably about 2 years ago for the first time. And then I said it again last year, but I'm finally doing it. This is my Lolita wardrobe tour. So yeah. Okay, so it's been a while since I have uploaded anything to my channel. For a while, I was highly convinced that I was going to be doing mostly like comedy sketches and things like that. It's still something that I'm interested in, but a lot has happened since then. I graduated college, the pandemic happened, and I moved out of my college town and moved back home, and that is where I'm living now. I started in Lolita fashion. I've been in the fashion for about like 3 years now. In October, it'll be coming upon 4. So I have amassed a good little collection here. It's a tradition every year for Lolitas to show their pieces, and I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably already know that. And so I'm gonna be doing that today. I guess I'll get started. I keep my blouses on the front side of like, this is like, you know, like my gothic and punk and bittersweet stuff, and I have blouses here, and then I have my sweet blouses here. But I will start with my first sweet main piece. This might be a poor idea to film this way. My Lolita rack is truly stuffed to the brim, but maybe I'll talk about that in a little bit if I get to my blouses. But basically, I would say it's about 50% blouses, 50% main pieces. I have a lot of blouses because I have items that I have gotten like secondhand in some way that I thought would go good with Lolita, and so I usually wear those. I don't have a lot of Lolita specific blouses in the sense of like brand pieces or stuff that I just got from Taobao. So I do have a lot of blouses, but they're not necessarily Lolita specific. But anyway, all that aside, the first piece I'm going to show is Jewelry Jelly. Yes. Jewelry Jelly. JSK in pink. I don't know where they are right now, but it does, my version does have the little neck straps that strap over, and that was part of the thing that I really liked about this particular cut. They're detachable. If you can kind of see, I know I already zoomed in a little bit, but I just love the little jellies, the iridescent quality of them. I'm sad to say I've only corded it twice. I'm hoping to eventually get more items from the set. I don't even think I have the head bow. Yeah, I don't have the head bow, but I do have other head bows to match it, you know. I hand make a lot of especially head dresses, and I'm making one right now that's sort of like in my work in progress pile that is gonna be sparkly, but I also want to make a headpiece that looks like a little jelly cake, and I think that'll be really cute. Hoping not to knock everything over. Next piece. This is Marionette Clock Skirt in pink by Angelic Pretty. Marionette Clock is a piece that I just think is really fun and whimsical, and obviously like the little numbers on it are meant to resemble a clock, and I'm sure if you were to show it flat lay, if you were able to do that somehow, it would look like a clock splayed out. So that's kind of cool. And anything that has marionette in the title, I just love marionette puppets. But I love the bold numbers and the font that they are in. I love that they have card suits within the numbers. I always associate card suits with Alice in Wonderland, I guess because of the card characters that the Queen of Hearts has is like the soldiers, you know? So I always, when I think of card suits, I think of Alice motifs, and I love a good marionette puppet. It's something that I've always liked. When I was a kid and other kids would get frightened by them in my class or think that they were weird, I didn't understand because I always thought that they were so much fun, and I didn't get why people thought they were weird. And then I learned about Uncanny Valley and AI robots, and whew, getting into that now, that's dystopian. But anyway, I'm going on and on. What I should say really quickly is that I initially was interested in this cut, and while it is true that the skirt cut does fit me, in a technical sense, it's not comfortable at all. I really don't like things that squeeze my waist a lot. This one's okay. As long as I'm not too bloated that day, it's okay. There's no shirring. in the waistband. And so I have been thinking for a little while that maybe I might eventually want to look for this in like the JSK cut because of that. But I'm thinking it through. I do really love this skirt, and I ended up really loving the pink colorway as well. I wasn't entirely sure what colorway I wanted initially. Whenever I got this at around the same time, I bought from a different seller the pair of OTKs in Saks. But yeah, marionette clock. I talked forever. Next up, my dream dress. Country of Sweets, JSK in pink. This is not a rare piece, but it is one that I just absolutely adore because of the little waffle cone and cookie houses with ice cream and pastries on it. I love that it looks like it's raining sweets from the sky. I love this little gingy guy because I love gingies. Yeah. I love gingerbread. Love gingies. I love gingerbread men as motifs, gingerbread people as motifs, gingerbread houses. I love all of that so much. I don't know why. I just think that they're the cutest thing in the world. I even have a little gingerbread clip here that's actually more of a cookie sandwich, but maybe it's a gingerbread cookie sandwich, you never know. I kept missing this initially. When I would see it listed, somebody else would get to the listing first, and then I finally got it on Lace Market. And I talked about this a little bit on my Instagram, that I got antsy and I bought a different colorway of this because I was thinking like, I just need Country of Sweets and I need it now. Not the wisest decision ever, but also fortunately for me this time, it paid off because I love both the colorways and I just love this print so much. I've talked before too about how it makes me feel like I'm in Candyland. Not the vibe that I want to have 100% of the time, I will say, but it's a vibe that I love a lot. I cherish it deeply. I really do. You know, once again, not super rare. I see a lot of Lolitas, a lot of sweet Lolitas with this dress, and understandably so. It's just so adorable. A little snow path on the ground. Are you kidding me? It's just so cute. I will never be parting ways with this dress. Yeah. Country of Sweets. Country of Sweets. By Angelic Pretty, by the way. I need to start off, I need to get like a more cohesive system in place where I'm saying the name and who it's by first. Maybe I already said it, and maybe this is a redundancy. I'm not even entirely sure what I already said, but regardless, I love Country of Sweets. That's all you need to know. Anyway, next one. If I can get this in here, if I don't take down the whole rack. Oh my God, what even is that? I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. It's just an empty hanger. Why is there just an empty hanger? I don't know. I'm not going to think about it too much though. And apparently with a bow attached to it that doesn't go to it. This goes to a different piece. Oops. Oopsie. What a dilemma. What a travesty. Oh my God, that scared me too. There's a little fuzz on the inside of this that's black. It's just like staticky and I think it's jumping, but it made me think it was a bug. And it gave me quite the fright, I dare say. Pray tell, it gave me the fright. It gave me the fear. But we're not. Honestly, knock on wood, because no. Anyway, it's Rainbow Dollhouse. This was my first dream dress ever. This is probably the dress that got me hooked on Lolita fashion to the point where I was like, yes, I need to be a part of it. I just really wanted it so bad. And thankfully it was within my price range. It was very affordable. I love the little dollhouse motif. And I love the art style that CC Cat uses. Here I am. I said that I was going to start saying the brand first. Well, the brand is CC Cat. Anyway. But I love the little bunny and the bear with a bonnet. It's just so cute. And the whole dollhouse that is like a border print across the entire dress is just so cute. The lace is hearts and polka dots. It's very intricate. A lot of people, whenever it came out, the reason it was so hyped is, you know, because it's just such a beautiful, intricate print. It is poly, but it's like a very soft, nice poly. I do now have the head bow, but I made the initial mistake of not buying the head bow for some reason, and I don't know why I did that. It had the same common problem for me that it did for a lot of other people. It came with the charm detached, but I wasn't too mad at that because I usually use it as like a neck accessory because the charm is detached. And it's a charm of the little bear, but in a pink colorway. What I was gonna say before about the pink colorway that I really, really like. Obviously this like top part is meant to be like a sky, you know, with stuff floating in the sky. I like the idea that it's like the sun is setting and the sky is pink, you know? I always called it cotton candy sky whenever it's like fades from pink to purple to blue at that perfect time during the day on just like, you know, a clear sky day. Yeah. Rainbow Dollhouse by CC Cat. And you start going faster because this is gonna take 50 million years if I take as long as I am taking here. I'm gonna have to probably make a lot of cuts. For some reason, the bow is not pinned on correctly, and I don't know why it's like that, but ignore that. Pretend that didn't happen. This is, I believe it's called Candy Ice Cream by some Chinese indie brand that I'm trying to remember. It's, I believe it's like, I don't remember. But I won't lie, I initially was kind of interested in it because I was trying to build up my wardrobe and I thought that the ice creams and cupcakes on the bottom were really cute. I also ended up really liking, which is something that I don't think I initially saw in the stock photos, but I love the little candy buttons as well. I've quoted this a lot of times. It's not my favorite piece. I don't necessarily love the art style on it. I can be a little bit particular, but I do love the way that the ice cream looks in this art style, particularly like this ice cream. It looks like it's like 3 scoops and a soft serve at the top. And then it's little candies running throughout, candies that are like sealed by little pearls, and the laces are little candies as well. So it is a cute dress. I have gotten a lot of wear out of it. It was really good price. I can't for the life of me remember what brand this is, and I know that I know it. And a nice thing about it is that I'm not afraid to wear it around because it was a really cheap dress. And so I am not super scared of ruining it. Of course, I'm not gonna go out of my way, you know, I'm not gonna go like mud stomping in this. I'm not gonna go to like a monster truck rally or what have you. Honestly, I could. Why would I? I don't know. I've never been into monster truck rallies. What am I saying? What am I talking about? Anyway, it is very lightweight. The poly is poly, but it is soft. It's shirred in the back, so you can just slip it on. One thing I don't like about it is that the waist ties are not detachable, and I'm not a huge fan of waist ties in general because I just find that they kind of get in the way. I prefer it if a dress is just sort of like fitted if it needs to be, and I don't have to fuss with the tie in the back, but then furthermore it doesn't come untied, and then when you sit back you don't have to feel that knot on your back that drives me crazy, absolutely crazy. I guess I could remove them, but it's not really worth it to me. I guess that's it about this one. Oh no, one more thing I was gonna say that I don't like me ending it on a negative note, and this is something that I had to learn through trial and error. This is supposed to be the pink colorway, and I would say it's pink. However, it's a pink that's leaning into lavender, and that is not my favorite shade of pink. I much prefer pinks in warmer tones, but it's not bad, and it chords well with a more bluey mint. Bluey mint. I have a little cardigan that I often pair with this. Next up we have another dress that I love, love, love. Also, I would say a dream dress. I often think it's called Biscuit Print JSK by Metamorphose. I'm very bad at pronouncing French, so I'm sorry in advance. Metamorphose Tante Fille. I'll just say Metamorphose. I think it's just Biscuit JSK, not Biscuit Print. I love all the cookies. Once again, it has this thing where it's a menagerie of cookies and lollipops and candies, little star chocolates, and then there are cookies that form out the letters of Metamorphose. I was not initially looking for the red colorway, but then when I saw pictures of it in the listing that I ended up buying, I liked it so much that I was like, I have to get this one. I initially was looking for the pink, and I believe I was looking for it in a different cut as well, but something about whenever I saw it, and then I clicked on it in Lolaberry, in the Lolaberry link, and this actually has a detachable yoke that the seller did inform me that they did not have the yoke and that they didn't know whether or not, let me just fix this on really quick and then I'll explain. I should have thought this through, man. Okay, hold on. I should explain while I am doing this so that way I can do a voiceover. Within this cut, there is potential lore of a detachable yoke. However, she did not know if she had ever had it somehow, if it had ever made its way to her. And so I was like, okay, cool, you know, whatever. And I've talked a little bit about how I do think I slightly overpaid for it, but that's mostly why, because it didn't come with any of the other pieces except for the JSK. That was fine with me because I love this print so much. And I do think I got it for a very fair price. So I don't think that I like really overpaid. However, I believe that it was worth it because I don't truly remember the last time that I saw this cut and colorway listed really anywhere. So I did feel the urgency to snatch it up as quickly as possible. And I did. I hope this doesn't like run down my camera, but we'll see what happens. That's the last button. So, now that I got all that done, this is the detachable yoke in question. It is not the original. Clearly, it is a little bit misshapen. I crocheted it, and it didn't come with any of the front buttons originally either, but what I did to solve this issue is that I went to a local sewing shop. They had some vintage heart buttons that I thought were really cute, and I had remembered them from around Christmas time whenever I was planning on making something that I hadn't made yet, that I still haven't made, but I remembered these heart buttons, and so I went back to get them, and thankfully they were a perfect match for what I wanted to do, and now it has a little detachable yoke that I do love. I almost said yolk. It's not like an egg yolk. It's a yoke. Y-O-K-E. Yoke. You really thought it was yolk? Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my lord. Next up, Innocent World Icing Cookie JSK, I believe it's called. This is in the high waist cut, I believe. The reason I leave the waist ties on this one is because it's a little bit strangely shaped if you don't tie it with the waist ties. I have already named my disdain for waist ties. The cut of it is like a high waist cut on the front, but then on the back, it's shirred, but it's like a sack cut. And I don't really understand that too much. I guess one could solve it by adding in another shirring, like another few shirring layers. Though, while I do sew, I would like to call myself a haphazard sewist. I make things well enough to wear for myself. I've never altered brand, and I don't know what I would have to do to get comfortable enough to alter brand myself. I have always struggled with my hand-eye coordination. I have a really hard time with it, and it makes sewing like very long, tedious, frustrating process for me, even when I'm doing something fun. And so I wouldn't feel comfortable trying to add more shirring to it myself. But I love this print because, once again, cookies. I love cookie prints, and it's biscuits. It's like a line of biscuits, and then you have the deer character from Innocent World that I believe the deer's name is Lotta, and then you have a little squirrel. I think there's a little chipmunk. There's an owl and a bunny, and all these little cookies, then a mushroom cookie too, and cookies that say Innocent World, and then it says Innocent World across the bottom in a fun font. The font, the curly Q font, sort of reminds me of the font at the beginning of Elf whenever they're showing like the credits. This doesn't ring to me as a Christmas print. I always thought of it as very springy. However, I have definitely courted it in the fall. I forgot to mention the little ladybug cupcake. There's also cupcakes in this print. Next, we have Welcome to the Sweets Hexen House by Baby the Stars Shine Bright. Other than the other one that I have hanging back there, which I'll explain in a little bit, I do believe that this is my only baby dress that I currently have. Yeah, it's just really cute. I said before, I love gingerbread houses. This is a Hansel and Gretel themed dress. There's Hansel and Gretel, and there is the candy house that the witch lives in, Once again, it just harkens to that whole little Candyland theme. Not necessarily Candyland the board game for this one to me, but definitely anything that pays homage or harkens towards some sort of candy world, or like Willy Wonka, or anything that moves in that direction. I love that across the top it's like a chocolate bar, and then there's like chocolate icing, chocolate buttercream piped into little bows and stuff. There is a detachable bow that I usually put, I think I usually put it at the top. I'm trying to remember where I usually put it, but I took it off because I wear it with a lot of other stuff too. I got this on Lace Market, and it came with the OTKs and the head bow. So I do love this dress. I cored it a lot. This sort of fueled my particular penchant for mint chocolate and by extension like strawberry and cream colorways, like all of that together. I do love that. It's a really nice dress. I don't know what else to say about it, but it's really nice. I like it a lot. This one, it makes me happy. So this is Groovy Cafe by Violet Fane. I got it in a sale because they had stock that they were trying to move, and at that time I didn't know that Violet Fane was gonna be going out of business, but this year they just announced that they're making prints again and that they're back in and they didn't shut down. So I'm super stoked about that. Violet Fane is one of my favorite brands. It's from the Ginza Kisaten series, and it has little like cafe servers on it and little like people at the Kisaten, and little puddings and sodas and little lattes. I think this like velveteen ribbon that is within the ladder lace is actually a dark brown, but at one point I thought it was black. The thing that makes me think that it's brown is whenever you slightly shift it, it looks like a dark brown. However, because it looks like black, I have often paired it with black things because I just think it looks very like retro in that way, and there is a little bit of black in the print in some of the illustrations. But I love drawing upon colors from this print. The simultaneous old school feel and the retro art style of this print are just so cute. Yeah, I just love Violet Fane. Violet Fane is one of my favorite Lolita brands in general. Not even just indie brands, Lolita brands. Love this skirt. I wear it all the time. It's very comfortable. It's fully shirred. I love coffee motifs. While this is technically a Kisaten motif or like a cafe motif, more so than a coffee motif, I liken it to coffee a lot because I love coffee. That's like, coffee is like one of my special interests, I guess you could say. And yeah, I just love this. As if on cue, because it was Ginza Kisaten by Violet Fane. This is the print of the series namesake, and this is, I like to think of as that same Kisaten. I'm assuming it is. Whenever they did their photo shoot, it looked like they took a lot of pictures at one similar Kisaten. I just love this art style, and I love the colorway, the oranges and greens and browns and creams, and like mixed with the golds and reds and like little like hints of black on the edges, like the gray in the pictures. I just like all of it together. It's just like, it's so good and it's so coffee-y. I think one of my favorite things in this print is, God, there's so many different illustrations that I love. Oh, and there's little hints of pink too. I forgot to say that. Little hints of like a rosy looking pink. I do love this chalkboard that's supposed to be like the outside of the cafe with the bunny. But then I also, there it is, the bunny sundae or parfait, whichever one it is. I've courted it any time of year. This is a dress that I cherish very, very deeply. I hope to, in the future, be able to get more Violet Fane pieces. Of course, really wanted the puppet maker, but I missed out on that one. And yeah, but I love this dress. I love this dress so much. I'm gonna get some water. My allergies are getting to me too. Woo! Woo! Woo, woo, woo! Yeah. So next up, Petite Patisserie by Angelic Pretty. I think it's actually like Petite Patisserie. Once again, please excuse my French. Please pardon my French. A lot of people say Petite Patisserie, and I think, you know, that's fine. You get the point. It is a cake print, and this one is nice because it has a built-in petticoat that is made of hard tulle, which I love a built-in petticoat. And quite frankly, I don't understand why brands don't do it more often these days. I really don't get why they wouldn't, because it's just, it always adds the extra bit of floof that everybody wants, and I don't understand why you wouldn't do it. It is a sweet print, but it feels a little bit more sophisticated to me. I do often find myself really liking kind of photorealistic sweets. I love the mint colorway. It is a soft mint and they pair it with cream. It's a more green leaning mint, which I do often prefer to a blue leaning mint. I love whenever a print like plays with the perspective of like, is this pink or is this red? And it's just a diluted red, but you can't tell. And this kind of does that with the red and cream striped ribbon that is running throughout. And of course I love the polka dots. I do love a good polka dot, and I love the combination of polka dots and stripes. Like that it's chiffon. It's a lot more breezy than I initially thought whenever I first saw the print. I don't know if I fully realized that it was chiffon, but I do like that detail. Obviously we have the polka dot mesh lace that sort of like is just softly frames your blouse in a nice way. And I love this velveteen, I'll zoom in on that. And by zoom in, I mean closer, but this velveteen little dainty light pink ribbon, and then little strawberries, of course. I haven't been showing the lace on all of these, but can you see the cake lace? There's a cake lace on this. And it's so cute. I think it says AP. Next, we have my only salopette that I currently own. Dessert Cart in the Amusement Park by The Doll's Daydream. A name so long that you would think that it's baby. Does it have a built-in petticoat? I don't know. It feels like it does because it's so poofy, but I don't know if it does. I'm searching. Yeah, it does. It is cotton. I'm doing this in the weirdest way possible. I just wanted you to see the little bear. And the bunny in the ice cream truck. So cute. So cute. It almost reminds me of the bunnies and bears in CC Cat's Rainbow Dollhouse, interestingly enough. Though the art style is slightly different. But it makes me think of CC Cat, but it's not. It's The Doll's Daydream because the cookie cat thing right here. The little star buttons are very cute. And I also love the little star things on the straps of the salopette. Because it is a salopette, it is rather short. I'm 5'6", so it's pretty short on me, but I just usually find ways to sort of work with that. I sometimes will put an underskirt. I've only done that a couple of times with this though, because as long as it's not like ridiculously short, I think it's fine. But I do love salopettes because they're just so cute. They kind of feel in a way like overalls, which I don't know, I kind of like. I think it adds to a more like casual vibe personally, but it also looks really frilly at the same time. One of my mom's favorite dresses that I own. Dessert Cart in the Amusement Park. First Lady Sloth print in my wardrobe. Not the first one that I ever got, but the first one, you know, in the order that I'm going in. My Coffee Time, on with the coffee themes. This, in comparison to it being like a Kisaten diner cafe type of theme, I guess not diner, but more so cafe type of theme, is just like a table setting with coffee, and also peep the little mouse reaching for a macaron. It also goes well with anything that's mint chocolate because of the brown and mint. And this I got in a sample sale. So I got it for a really good price, a steal of a deal, one might say, because this is not the mint that they actually ended up going with for the official release. This is a more green mint. And as I previously stated, I love a green leaning mint. And I love the little coffee beans and biscuits throughout. I love biscuits. I love little chocolates, and I love coffee. And little Mises, little cartoon Mises reaching for macarons. I also like the, you know, like the little cupcake and things like that. Yes. This is, I've seen it go by different names, but the one that I see most commonly is All About Strawberries by Infanta, I believe. This one is a sack dress cut, and I think initially when I got it, it was kind of funny because I thought when I saw it in the pictures that it was going to be a high waist cut. It was not. It was a sack cut, and this ended up being the first sack cut sort of dress that I got because of that, incidentally. And it's a strawberry print, which I didn't know going into Lolita that I would love strawberry prints as much as I do, but I really do. I've grown an affinity for strawberries as the time has gone on. And it has a little chocolate scoop of ice cream, of course, and you have little candies, pancakes, just all sorts of stuff. Once again, this is poly, but it is a pretty high quality, pretty sturdy poly. It is kind of long, and I'm not entirely sure if that's because my petticoats have kind of like worn down over time. They've sort of like deflated, and so maybe that's why it looks longer to me now. But also, I have gained a preference for shorter dresses at this point in my EGL journey. And so this one feels a little bit long for me, but the nice thing about it is that it can be styled very, very casually. You can also dress it up a little bit more too, but because it's an all over print, you know, you can do it really casually. And I like this colorway a lot because I love that it has the reddish pink, you know, that sort of like faded red sort of situation, and a sax that is like a bright sax. And I like that it's striped with that. Yeah, fun print. I get a lot of wear out of this, I will say, even with it being a sack cut, which is not my favorite cut. It is very comfortable. I haven't worn it this year though, but I think that's because I've gotten fatigue from wearing it so much in the past, because I truly, like, for a while, it was my most courted JSK. This is a piece that is a little bit of a mess, to be quite frank, but I've worn it once before. When I initially got this fabric, I got it from Dollar Tree when Dollar Tree was first starting to do little fabric scraps, and I had made an underskirt out of different fat quarters that I got. This was an attempt. I wanted to make an old school style skirt. I do kind of like the idea behind it. I do like how I did the ruffle on the bottom, and I do like the trims and laces that I chose. However, there is a lot of problems with this. As I have said, I have trouble with my hand-eye coordination, and also I take a very long time to do things when I do them. So this is technically, despite me making it for myself, too big for me. And I had to redo the waistband because it was all twisted. Pretty sure the fabric is 100% cotton, and it's very thin cotton, so it gets very wrinkly. And I made it so big that this is my smaller petticoat, but I don't know if you can kind of tell. It like doesn't poof out the way I would want it to, even with my biggest petticoat. Yeah, and it's a little haphazard. There are definitely problems with it. I definitely got eager to finish it and tried to finish it too fast. It is cute though. I will probably end up wearing it again. I would like to definitely fix certain things that I feel are pretty wrong with it right now though. So this is Alice Tea Time by Putumayo. Putumayo is another one of my favorite brands. This is what it looks like, a piece that I made. It has so many intricate details. One thing I love about it is you kind of gotta get close to it to see. Once again, we have the card suits, which, you know, harken to Alice for me. But then also it looks like a sort of curly-Q damask sort of print. And then on the bottom, another thing that I love is a screen print. And we have screen print with Alice at the table with the rabbit and the Mad Hatter, and they're drinking tea, having a tea party. This dress I got for a really good price because there is a chocolate sauce stain on it. It still is there, and it's on the back. But to be quite frank, you can't even really see it. So I'm not mad at that. And this is sort of a capelet that I made. It's kind of small for a capelet, so it's almost like a big collar, and I make it the same way that I make my crochet collars. But I meant it to be a capelet, and I made it specifically to match this. It does sparkle a little bit. I don't know if you can tell, but the yarn has a shimmer to it. When I saw this yarn at Joann's, I realized it was almost the same shade of sax. I think it is. Maybe slightly darker, but I don't have too much with sax and navy and white like all together. And I figured it could match with sailor stuff too, because I plan on getting more sailor stuff in the future. I do love this piece. It is very difficult to cord because of this part right here. It is like a lace thing. Once again, I will zoom in. It's like a little lace sort of, almost like a jabot type of effect, but attached to the actual garment. It is technically a sleeveless OP. That's the way it's listed on Lolaberry. I've never worn it without a blouse, and maybe I will wear this with just the capelet come spring. Yeah, anyway, next. I was gonna say my one and only Cutso OP, but that's not true. One of my only 2 sailor pieces that I currently own. And I also lied when I said that that other dress was my only baby dress, because this is technically a baby dress. This is my Baby Starshine Bright sailor Cutso OP. It is very casual. It's really cute. I've talked about the fact that it fits strangely, so I won't go into too much detail about that. I guess one of the best ways to wear this, I would probably say, is without a petticoat and with like peaking bloomers. I don't know, I'm having trouble figuring out how to cord it. I might end up selling it eventually, just because I just have a hard time figuring out how to cord it, and I feel that it looks strange on me particularly. Who could say? Who could say? Anywho, this is, what is the name of this? It's something about wind. Makes me think of Golden Wind, and now all I'm thinking about is, oh man, now all I'm thinking about now is Gangstar. What is this? 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 It's breeze. No, it's breeze. It's not wind, it's breeze. It's something of the sea breeze. Oh my god, oh my god. This is Listen to the Sea Breeze OP by Sweetie Honey. Sweetie Honey is a Chinese indie brand, and I don't know about any other pieces they've done, to be honest with you, other than the blouse that I have that is by them, that is a more poofy sleeve blouse, kind of like this. But I love the work that they do with a sort of like sparkly, it's almost like in between a chiffon and an organza. I would say it's closer to a chiffon, but then they usually use these like shiny, like really like brilliant shiny. You can't really see it on camera, which is a bummer. Yeah, they just use these shiny threads in a beautiful way. This dress is beautiful. The reason I don't cord it more is because I'm scared that I will snag it on something. It has a couple of runs already, unfortunately, but all the frills are just so cute. This is currently my only, other than the cutsew, my only sailor piece, and I plan on getting more in the future. When I first got into Lolita, I thought that I would be wearing sailor all the time for some reason, even though that was something that I never used to wear that much of in the past. But for some reason I thought like, oh, this is gonna be one of my main things. This is gonna be my thing. And then I just haven't gotten more sailor pieces, and I really don't have a good explanation as to why. But I do love this piece because something about a sailor motif to me just feels so fun. You know what's funny to me is that I'm not a huge fan of mermaid motifs, but I love sailor motifs, and I really couldn't tell you why. I think that mermaid motifs and other like aquatic life motifs look good on other people, don't get me wrong, but for me, I don't know why, something about a sailor motif is just so like cute to me, and I just love the collar. Yeah. This is... Oops. Hang her down, hang her down. This is Doll's Wall by Cat's Broom, the OP cut. Yeah, I love doll motifs. I don't know if I said that before when I was talking about Rainbow Dollhouse, but I love doll motifs that are sort of chaotic in a way. They don't always have to be chaotic, but I love how this one just looks like somebody's collection of toys or figurines or dolls too, you know, plushies, all sorts. I love that it's really bright. Just a huge like collector's dream essentially. I just love how many of them and how many details there are on each individual doll. I don't know if I said this when I was talking about Rainbow Dollhouse, but I love doll houses or architecture as themes, but I also just love dolls in general. Once again, it had that unexpected thing of you would think that this is a high waist cut. However, it cuts off mid-boob, and I find that to be a little strange, but you know what? It is what it is. This one is slightly big on me, I will say, but I kind of like it that way because I think that it gives a sort of almost sack dress type of feel. It does have waist ties that are non-detachable, automatically attached, which once again, you know, wish I had the choice, but you know, it is what it is. But on this one, it is kind of handy if you want to sort of cinch it in a little bit. I have styled this in a way that is almost more like Fairy K. I initially didn't want the OP, I will say, but this is my preferred colorway. Initially, I wanted the like sack dress JSK cut, but then I got this one, and one thing I do like about this one is the little button. And it's kind of nice, to be honest with you, to have a few OPs because a lot of what I initially had was mostly JSKs, and sometimes I can get kind of overwhelmed whenever I start to throw everything at the wall, at the doll's wall. I start to go a little too crazy, and I sometimes can't make a simplistic cord, but it is nice that I don't have to think about what blouse goes underneath it either. This is Candy Sprinkle by Angelic Pretty. One of my first Angelic Pretty dresses that I got. But this one, I love because it is like a iridescent carousel in space, and I love all the little details. This lavender is a less pinky lavender and more so almost like a periwinkle. It's not quite periwinkle, but it is leaning towards that. There's no glitter in this print, but I do love the implied iridescence and sparkliness within the stars and the drippy moon. The drippy moon that looks like it's dripping sparkles. I don't know. Just all the iridescence and sparkliness. But then also carousel in space. And also, one more zoom in, the heart buttons that are actually iridescent in real life. I don't court it all the time, but love this dress. I do love, love, love carousel motifs. I love carousel motifs. It's another motif that I have a great affinity for, and I hope to collect more carousel motifs. One point I was like, I'm going to be a carousel motif completionist. I have a lot of goals that are too much. Too much, too much, too much. No, I'm not going to be a completionist. There's so many carousel motifs within even just the main like brands of Lolita. Just couldn't do it. But I do plan on collecting more carousel motifs, so yes. This I will talk about very briefly. This is, I believe it's called Antique Toy Shop, and it's by Chinese indie brand Dark Star Island. One thing that I do love about this is it's almost like a heart apron, and I do love the frill around it, but as you can already see, it does this. It flips over because there's no structural integrity to this heart. I thought I would be okay with it whenever I initially got it, but I did initially get it just because I wanted Doll's Wall and I'd missed out on getting Doll's Wall in time. So I thought, oh, this is kind of like Doll's Wall. And the print is very cute. And it is a collection of plushies with cakes and stuff. However, the skirt, just too tight. It squeezes me. Even with the shirred waistband, it is only half shirred. It's only shirred on the back of it. But it should fit me based on the measurements it lists, and it does technically fit me. It just makes me really uncomfortable whenever I wear it. The other thing that I have on this hanger is, I had mentioned before that I made an underskirt, and I did make this underskirt specifically to go with this because it was very, very short. At the Dollar Tree, they had started selling fabric, and so I kind of got a little creative. The top part is a bed sheet. This one is actually not too bad. It's fully shirred. It is slightly big. Once again, I don't know how I keep making things slightly big. I guess I'm scared it'll be too small, but it does fit pretty well even for it being slightly big. It's not like too big. It's just like a tad. I made the top sacks, and the bottom is like a more blue mint and that pink color, and it's meant to look a little bit like cotton candy. The colors that sort of inspired me for this. One of my favorite ice cream flavors is Bluebell Cotton Candy. It's one of my favorite, other than the coffee flavor. And I thought it was really funny too that a couple weeks after I made this, and I hadn't worn it yet, but a couple weeks after I had made this underskirt to go with this, Dandy Puppeteer announced that they were going to be doing like a paneled like carnival theme release, and I thought that that was kind of funny. I hope that I can get it, but I might not have the money, but I hope that I can. I love Dandy Puppeteer. I should say I'm probably going to sell this soon. I don't know for how much, because on the first time that I wore this, I did catch a thread on this stupid side table that I've since gotten rid of because it has scratched and cut me before, and I should have gotten rid of it a long time ago. I was so mad because I paid more for this than I should have, I feel. And then I snagged it the first time I wore it, so I took so long to do the first section, and I have a whole other section. Okay. Now we are getting to the gothic and bittersweet main pieces, and spooky cute, I would say as well. You know it, you love it. It is my Spooky Macarons by Lady Sloth in the black and white colorway. I initially was going back and forth about, do I want the orange and black colorway or do I want the black and white? But I ended up going with the black and white because it makes me think of Beetlejuice, which is so funny because at that time I hadn't even seen Beetlejuice, but I've since seen Beetlejuice, and here he comes. I love it, of course, because it speaks to me. Something I love about this print is that, yes, it is a Halloween print, and it's a spooky cute print. Of course, the little macarons, and it has pockets. Does it have pockets on both sides? Oh man, maybe I lied. No, maybe it doesn't, but it does have one pocket. No, it has two. I am a liar. Anyway, yes, it has two pockets. It's really lightweight, which is nice. I don't know why I like heavier pieces so much. So whenever I saw it was whenever I saw that it was lightweight, I was a little bit like, oh, you know, just because for some reason I don't know why I love heavy pieces so much. I love heavy fabrics. And so I didn't know how to feel about this, but now I really, really like that it's lightweight because when I wear my big petticoat with it, it poofs up really big, and I really like that. I really love the cemetery lace with the pumpkins on the bottom. Very, very cute. Custom lace, and I have corded it Beetlejuice themed before. The thing that I was going to say about this print that I really, really like, that I don't see in a lot of Halloween prints, is that it incorporates this like almost greeny kind of teal, and I have corded it in a way as well where I wore it with my, back when, if you know, you know, whenever Ethan Nestor used to be under the name of Crank Gameplays, he had released a merch series like called Wowie, and it was like on this shirt that is, when I put it on, I learned that it wasn't the same exact teal color, but it feels the same to me. For some reason, it feels like spiritually the same, if you will. And so I wore that with this, and I sort of played on that kind of teal color, and I just think that's kind of an interesting factor of this piece. Love a good Halloween print. Halloween motifs are another one of my favorite motifs. I've talked about this ad nauseum, but yes, my spooky macarons. My latest thought. We have another empty hanger. Oh boy. Don't know what was supposed to go in that one. And we'll never find out. This skirt I like to call my cameo ghoul skirt. The print is not something that I personally designed, but I do like, when I make things, I do still like coming up with little names for them, even if I didn't make this print, but I did assemble the skirt. This one I think is more of a success. I made this one out of some fabric that I got at Joann's. It is like a Halloween spooky frame sort of theme, and it is a flannel material, and so is the bottom material that I got as well. It's like a viney sort of like floral and vines sort of situation with spider webs, and I got both of these from Joann's around Halloween time. Once again, not super well constructed, but I do think it looks really good. I wear this quite often, and I do like this piece, even though it is kind of botched. This is the shirring. That's what the shirring is. I have problems, but in my defense, it was one of the first pieces I ever made, and I used it to put together one of the first cords I ever made that, even though it didn't have any Lolita pieces besides this, which is I made specifically for Lolita, even though it's like also another thing that I feel like doesn't show up whenever I take pictures of it is I did make little bows, but I feel like you can never see them. But anyway. Oh, and one more thing that I like about the lace is that it looks like little eyeballs. I don't know if you can see it. It looks like little... Yes, there was no cut in the video, and it is definitely not 9 o'clock at night now, and my camera battery didn't die, your camera battery died. Anyway, this is my first ever item that I got on Lace Market. This is the Gothic Half Half JSK by Flower Banquet Lolita, and it's exactly as it says. I usually keep the waist ties tied because it zips down the front. Once again, it was one of those cases where I missed it whenever it was selling on Taobao and got it secondhand from a really nice seller who gave me a really good price for it. I don't wear it as often as I should. The last 2 years, I've ended up wearing it in October, funnily enough. I like that it has frills on one side. On the other, it has like this sort of faux leather material. Don't know if you can even see it because now it's dark. This is Baby the Stars Shine Bright Tartan Check JSK. So once again, I'm a liar. This is another baby dress that I have that I completely forgot was baby until this very second. This I stored over the hanger like this because the sleeves are elasticized. However, the shirring is shot on this one, and I think it was like that whenever I got it, and I think the seller disclosed that to me. I love the colorway of this. Sometimes in different lighting, it can read as more red, or in pictures it can, but it's hot pink. Maybe if I bring it in a little closer. One thing I found interesting about when I got this was that in the Lolaberry listing for this dress, there, I believe, is one bigger bow that is the same tartan pattern that is on the rest of the dress. And for some reason on this one, there are 2 little black bows with the grosgrain ribbon. I believe that's how you say it. And I do think this is authentic baby, but that stuff like That does make me question, but I'm pretty sure it's real. Another interesting thing about this JSK is that even though it's technically a JSK, it has sort of a cap sleeve, but like it's really short. And so you can wear it technically as an OP, and I have done that before. I also like that it's shirred in the front, which is a little bit unique. And the shirring is still good on that part, just not on the straps. But it didn't really matter too much on the straps because actually I'm a little tall for it, and so it is perfectly fine that the shirring is sort of shot on the sleeve because it fits me either way. The other one I kind of stretch out anyway. So this next one I have might be a little bit controversial as to whether or not somebody would consider it Lolita or not. For me personally, I do, because the style of it just, to me, really reads as Lolita. It's from a Taobao brand called Lollipops Lolita, and it has these two little hearts that almost are like a heart pocket thing, but they sort of hang from these faux leather straps. And I love this skirt. I wear it with Punk Lolita all the time. It's a good versatile skirt. I got it for a good price. The reason why I guess it would be sort of controversial as Lolita is because it's so short. It is very short, and I cannot stress this enough. It's probably one of the shortest skirts I own, but because I only ever wear it with Punk, and I think that you can get away with wearing it without a petticoat as well because of the amount of frills that there are. I just think that, to me personally, the style of it reads as Lolita, or at least when I cored it. Whenever I got it, it initially had a belt that was also that sort of hot pink color. It was a different shade of hot pink though, but it was more of like a neon pink, I would say. I guess a lot of different things can be considered hot pink, even though technically hot pink is a very specific color, and I believe it's more orangey, and this one was listed as magenta. That's this, and I do really like this skirt a lot more than I thought I would, actually, because when I got it, I just initially got it because it was a good price, but I do get a lot of wear out of this. And it's very comfortable. It's half shirred, a flat waistline in the front, and full shirring in the back. So next I have another skirt that I made. This one I call my Rosen Velveteen skirt, and that is because it has velveteen. Once again, from the Dollar Tree, which is crazy. I couldn't believe that they had little fat quarters of velveteen at Dollar Tree of all places, and the fabric is once again from Joann's. It was when they were having a sort of fabric sale, but the pattern is roses, like a sort of little rose pattern. From further away, it reads as like I said, that faded red effect. And one thing that I really love about this too, zooming in again, is this crocheted cotton lace that I got from, I believe I thrifted this from somewhere. I can't recall. We have a lot of local thrift shops in my area, and I'm very fortunate in that way. One thing that I did with this skirt that I think this skirt is better than some of my other ones, but one thing that I don't like that I did is that, once again, I get impatient when I'm sewing things. And so I sewed on the zipper in an irresponsible way. I just sort of like, I shouldn't be exposing the way I botch these projects so like closely, but you know what? It is what it is. And I'm already doing it. So yes, you can see that I hand stitched it on with embroidery floss that is not the same exact color as either the velveteen or the zipper that I used. So yeah, that's not the best, but you really don't pay that much attention to it whenever I'm wearing it. Like I know I personally don't, so I'm assuming other people don't as well. When I initially made it, I made it with the intention of being able to cord in a combination of ways that are like either like old school leaning Lolita or Cult Party K, because I love when Cult Party K utilizes white and red specifically, and I have a lot of accessories to go with that. Next, I have the bodyline skirt that this thing keeps coming untied every single time. It always comes untied. I don't even think that the grosgrain ribbon in this is that slick, but this release I believe is called the Harlequin Diamond Panel Skirt. It's either Harlequin Diamond Panel Skirt or the Harlequinade Diamond Panel Skirt. I think it might just be Harlequin, but either way, I love the diamond pattern on this, and it's in stark contrast to the red. A new Dandy Puppeteer release that is coming out, the OTK release release, there is a colorway that would be matching this, if you happen to find this. I have also corded this a lot. I love cording it in a fun, like, jester type of way with my Dandy Puppeteer jester apron and collar. I just think it's really bold and whimsical in the evil type of way, whereas before the marionette clock was more whimsical in like a, I don't even know, like an Alice type of way, but this one, I don't know why I think of it as evil. Anyway. This is Hanging Gate Garden in, I believe, the charcoal colorway by Dalby. I was able to get this in a sale that she was having. It is a really pretty print. It's garden gates with the little cats and the spider webs, and you have the roses at the bottom. Very gothic, and I love that. You can also cord it in a sort of old school way, which I have done. I do think it has, you know, a very spooky gothic vibe while also being cute. That's why I got it in the baby doll cut. I initially was going back and forth on baby doll cut versus the natural waist cut. I guess technically this is high waist, not baby doll, high waist cut. It's the only print that I currently have that is a gate type of print. The art style gives more of a spooky cute type of thing, while also just like, in my mind, the thing that my brain conjures up is like a Malice Miser song. Potentially, I'm thinking of Bel Air, I think is the name of the song. I don't know, it just makes me think of the musical interlude of that. I love the roses on the top as well. Something that I noticed about it more recently is the D and the B for Dalby, and I thought that was kind of cool too. Of course, I love it whenever brands put their brand initials on the dress. It's always cute to have. And I like how sturdy this is too. It's made out of a good thick material, and that's what I like. I like a good thick material. Next, I have something that is technically not Lolita. I have definitely worn things in Lolita, as I've discussed before, with the blouses that are not Lolita, as in not even designated for Lolita. But this one really takes that element over the top because it is a whole main piece in and of itself from what used to be the DAV in my area and is now called Eco Thrift. I saw it and I said, that might have been a costume in the past for something. It could have been someone's clothes. I genuinely can't tell, but I loved the big collar and I just love the lace on it. It is this like crunchy Rochelle type of lace and has little roses all over it. It is black, but it comes across almost gray, I think, from a distance, which I find kind of interesting because of all the little dots and pink roses on it. And one thing that I did do to change it is that I crocheted a black lace that you probably can't see very well, and I sewed that on there. And often when I wear this as well, I will add this little black bow that I have on my bunny here that you can't really see. That one's from an old choir dress from when I was in high school, and I just popped it off of that and popped it onto here usually. And there's a little triangle that makes it sort of a sailor type of situation with the sailor collar in the back. But I just thought it was so crazy that I found this at the thrift store, and it has a really full skirt too. It fits my big petticoat. I do plan on wearing this as a main piece in the future. I've worn it as a blouse underneath Ginza Kisaten before. I've worn it in casual goth wear before, and the one time that I wore it to the antique mall, I wore it with this black wide brim hat that I wear a lot, and somebody told me that I looked like Lydia Dietz, which I thought was kind of funny because at the time I had not seen Beetlejuice. Why did I blank on what Beetlejuice was? Beetlejuice. Anyway, don't get lost in the fact that if I summoned him before, technically I just made him go away. So you know what? It evened out. This is my first Putumayo piece, for sure. This is the Putumayo bunny-eared button front OP. It buttons in the front, as the name says, and it has a bunny-eared hood on the back, which I've never worn as a hood. Theoretically, I could. When I saw it, I knew that I had to have it, not only because I had wanted a Putumayo piece forever, but also peep the embroidery of the bunny in the jar. And the lace, too. Love the lace on the hood and the fact that the hood technically serves as like a collar, like a Peter Pan collar, maybe more like a sailor collar because of the way it's shaped. It reminds me of the very first chord that I posted with this OP. I put to the song To Die For by The Birthday Massacre, and I know it has the bunny ears, so obviously if you know anything about The Birthday Massacre, oftentimes Chibi, the lead singer, will portray herself with like bunny ears on album covers and things like that. And so that definitely made me think about it, but just something about like the way that this is just makes me think of The Birthday Massacre, and they're one of my favorite bands, and so yeah, this is so good. That's all I have to say. Haha. Next, we have something that is actually not gothic or punk. This is Sweets Collection by Metamorphose. You could argue that it's old school, but I'm not entirely sure that it is. To me, the main thing that makes it read old school is the ladder lace at the top. I don't know. Is it always called ladder lace whenever you can weave a satin or grosgrain ribbon in between? Also, peep the gingy. I got this dress because it was a good price initially and because I love sweets prints, but I ended up loving it so much, and it's really comfortable and I can style it very casually. When I first started researching Lolita pieces, I went through a huge phase where I was just deep diving into Lolaberry, just looking at all the different possibilities of things that I could potentially own and gobble up. This was not on my radar, can't lie, because I just wasn't that into Metamorphose at that time, and maybe that was because I was dumb and stupid and cringe. No, but I do genuinely think that I just didn't understand Metamorphose at that time for some weird reason, and then something in my brain just like clicked the first time I laid eyes on this piece. Not that I didn't like other Metamorphose pieces, because with Biscuit Print I already liked that one way ahead of time, but something about this just really made me understand the style of Meta more. The more I wore it and the more I looked at it, the more I have come to appreciate Meta as a whole. Their entire dress discography is what I was just thinking. I should say catalog. I'll say catalog, but just everything that they make as a brand, it's very different, especially their Sweet Lolita stuff, very different from most things that you will see from AP or Baby, but it's so like cool looking to me now, and I've really come to appreciate it. The little gingy, just everything about it. Sweets falling through the sky, chaotic, but even the black colorway I wasn't sure I was gonna like, but I really do, and I get a lot of wear out of this, so I'm really glad to have it. I'm starting to sweat. I may need to pause. Anywho, nothing changed at all and everything is still the same as it was before, and we all know this because we can all verify, and I'm not crazy, you're crazy. My outfit is exactly the same. This is Nostalgic Biscuit JSK by Physical Drop and Leaf. It was a collaboration, and this is one that I got off of Wonderwelt. I got it because I really loved Biscuit Print so much from Metamorphose that this made me think of that, and I thought it was just a little bit different, and so I was like, it's different enough that I can justify getting this too, and it was a really good price on Wonderwelt, and I got it in pack with other things, and it says Physical Drop and Leaf in the print with a bunch of cookies, and some of the cookies kind of look like donuts to me. Something about the style of this one makes me think of like when I was a kid, not quite I Spy books, but there's something that I'm thinking of that I just can't put a finger on what it is, but it's like some sort of book from when I was a kid or some sort of computer game that had illustrations that made me think of this. And that is what I think about whenever I wear this. It just feels a little kooky. I think the part of the reason that I got it at a lower price is because you can't really tell, but this used to be gathered here. It used to be like more like this, and then it came undone. But for me, that's actually more ideal because my bust doesn't sit that high up, and cuts like this really show that sometimes in a way that I don't like. This is a very comfortable dress. It has cookies and it's black, which I've been wearing a lot more black even in Sweet these days just because it feels easier for me to cord. My brain naturally thinks of more ways to cord main pieces in black for some reason. I have to really work hard, especially whenever it's in like a pastel sugary sweet sort of print or, you know, like main piece, because I feel the constant pressure in my brain to go OTT always, constantly. But with this, I do not feel that, and it still looks really cute. This one I got more recently, Tricky Nightmare Factory by Alice and the Pirates. This is my first, and not trying to be a liar again, but I do believe that this is my only Alice and the Pirates piece, which is shocking because Alice and the Pirates, out of the bigger brands, and even though, you know, it is a sister brand to Baby the Stars Shine Bright, I prefer Alice and the Pirates because it has spooky elements, you know, and Baby the Stars Shine Bright, though there are some interesting, like, odd prints of theirs, more like a little bit spooky catered sometimes. But yes, I wish that I owned more Alice and the Pirates pieces, but this is my first, and it is a similar material to Welcome to the Sweets Hexen House, and I love that it is sweet and spooky. It is Halloweeny, all the little treats. I, during Christmas time, corded it with that little candy cane I was just pointing to. Corded it in a Christmas way by sort of really bringing in the candy cane element of it. I love The Nightmare Before Christmas, shocker, shocker. And to me, I feel like you can really play on stuff like that with dresses like this that really are just like spooky cute to the core. I was looking for it for quite a while in the black colorway. I don't know if you can tell, but like this is a little detachable apron on the front, but yes, the black colorway. Shorter than I thought it was gonna be, that is one thing, but it's not too short. It is just like a fun, little bit shorter length. And this is not the original cut that I was looking for, but I ended up liking it better because you can see more of the little chocolate drippies at the top. Getting closer to the end, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Sweetie Hospital by Diamond Honey. Medical prints are not my biggest thing, but the thing that I really love particularly about this print is the X-ray bear, where you can see it skeleton. And I also love the half X-ray bunny. There are some figurines, I feel like, and I don't know the name of the artist that does. Mostly I see them with Sanrio characters, but they have like that half like skeleton and half like the character and then like half their skeleton, you know? And that's what it makes me think of with this dress. And I like that. I like that there's little meringues in a jar at the hospital for some reason, and I like that there's little gumballs. I do kind of like it from the perspective of like, it kind of gives like a Menhera vibe a little bit, but I don't particularly wear Menhera, but I do like it. I do admire it as a style. Once again, it has the dark pink, hot pink, whichever one you want to call it. Yeah, this is a good dress and I got it for a good price. Thank you. Thank you. Are you getting deja vu? This is Country of Sweets in black. This is the other colorway that I got Country of Sweets in when I was getting antsy, as I keep saying. I was getting quite the ants in my pants, and I just needed this. It wasn't too long after that I found it in my preferred colorway. Though this is my preferred cut, I much preferred it over the shirring cut for the main reason of I love the little pleats at the bottom with the polka dot print. The polka dots on any of the Country of Sweets, it's just such a good touch. Ditto everything that I said about Country of Sweets with the pink JSK with this one. One thing that I do think makes it a little bit different from the pink colorway and why I could justify keeping it and not selling it and only keeping the pink colorway, even though this was not my dream colorway, is that this one feels more like outer space. And I know you might think, okay, well, just because the sky is black, that could mean nighttime. Well, okay, it could mean nighttime too. That also too as well. Yes, and Country of Sweets in black. I'm gonna follow that up with this that I had to bring in here because it needs to be washed. Putumayo. I believe it's just called like polka dot skirt. Not entirely sure, but I got this in the Wonderwelt haul that I got. Initially, I was kind of like, oh, well, it's just polka dots, you know, like I was gonna say it's a little plain, but the polka dots are like all over the place, which I do love so much. It makes me think of if you were to zoom in really close on the art of a comic book. But even more so, it makes me think of Prince, making me think of bands once again. It makes me think of Strawberry Switchblade with the polka dots, and I imagine it with little fun colors when I have corded it before. One of my favorite ways to cord it is with my milk cut sew that I will probably show in a minute once I'm done with my main pieces. I love this skirt more than I thought I would. It is short, but thing I really like about it that I think makes it more unique than just like a regular like patterned skirt is that it has these little like suspender things that cause it to where you can sort of like gather it up, and without it, it has like a different shape. It's asymmetrical. Maybe it's called asymmetrical polka dot skirt. I'm not entirely sure, but you can kind of see on the back. The reason that I didn't have it hanging is because I wore it out in the snow. Oh, it snowed in Texas, which is so crazy and fun and scary at the same time. When it's snowing in Texas, how in the world can you deny that climate change is real? Anyway, yeah, I love this more than I thought I would. And it's really, really good. I need to wash it. So off it goes, not back on the rack. This dress is a piece that I handmade. Be My Guest JSK, inspired by the song by Paralyzed Age. It is a reversible JSK. So once again, it is a little haphazard. However, I did put a lot of intention into it. I will point out right off the bat that one thing I did about it that I hate. There, I put a zipper for both sides. I put 2 zippers on this because I was thinking like, I need a zipper for one side, I need a zipper for the other. I don't know what I was thinking. So now I have a dress with 2 zippers on either side, and for some reason I put shirring in it, but I didn't do it right. And so this dress is so chaotic, but I also really love it, and it fits fine. I have problems sewing sometimes, but I did work pretty hard on it, and I modeled the shape of it after this Angelic Pretty dress, which I haven't introduced yet, but this is Fruity Cafe by Angelic Pretty with the cord that I'm wearing today, which definitely didn't change. And if you thought you saw something different before, no you didn't. I call the dark side the Devil's Night side because I based it on the lyrics of that song. And at the top and the bottom, I just have this purple polka dot because I do love polka dots, and this coffin print as well. I get a lot of my fabric from Joann's when I do buy new fabric. Sometimes I get it used, and then this is just a black fabric I had left over, and some ribbon actually that I believe was also left over from something else. It's sort of like, it has little loopies on the end. You can kind of tell more with the purple polka dot part. But that's that side. And then the other side, I'll reverse it really quick. And then the other side is green with the purple polka dot fabric at the bottom. And I call this side the At My Party side because it looks like a little Halloween party once again with the all over sweets. When I saw this print on the Joann's website during Halloween time, that was what inspired me to make this because I love this print so much. But basically what I did here was I took some more of that ribbon with the little loopies, and I took some little like lacy scallop purple ribbon with an iridescent edge, and I just sort of lined it with that. This part is a grosgrain with an organza. I sort of like kind of pleated it. I don't know how to explain what I did. I guess it's sort of a pleat over it. You can't really tell because of the way that the lighting is, but yeah, I did it like that. And this little bow is on my bunny currently, is like a little waist bow for it. I don't even know if you can see it, but it's a little waist bow for it. And I made a head bow. I intend on making a rectangle headdress. I still have a little bit more fabric left over. I don't know how that always happens. And so I'm gonna make more things to match with this. One of the other things that I made to go with it too that I really loved that I got from the at-home Halloween section, another thing that I love to do with accessories is get ornaments and make them into accessories, because no, you can't tell me that I can't make ornamentation into accessories. That to me is what it's for. If I see that it could go in my house, why can't it go on my head or on my body? Is there a good reason? Do you have a good reason? You don't. If you're saying that you do, you're wrong. Yes, but I love the shape of this dress because I love the shape of this dress. I don't know if it's controversial that I based it off of this dress, but I think that I thought it through a lot before I made this. If it was like wrong of me to base the shape off of this angelic pretty dress. However, the thing in my mind that makes it okay is that I'm never gonna like make these to sell ever. It's just for my own personal use. I think as long as I don't try and claim that this is like my own design, I think it's ethically okay. I'm gonna try in the future though, if I want to do something like this, to like change it in multiple different ways. I really like the way that this dress turned out even with all its flaws, and it looks really good on. The only thing I want to change about it is, as you can see at the bottom, you can sort of see the trim from the other side peeking out. So I think I'm gonna add in a lace to attach to this side, so that way when you flip it, it'll just have the lace like sort of sandwiched in between, and it won't cause like any sort of like friction in that regard. But yes, this one's good, actually. I think it actually turned out kind of good. One thing I am a little confused about. Oh my god, that's why I'm confused. It's in the dirty clothes. Well, that's unfortunate. The other JSK that I made, which I will put up on the screen right here. Basically, this is my Night of the Pumpkin JSK. I wore it this year to Froberg's farm when they had a Halloween sort of festival. It was like a pumpkin patch and like a Halloween festival that was Jurassic Park themed. I had a lot of fun, but that meant that I got it all dusty because like it was actually really hot during Halloween here, and the wind was blowing everywhere and the dust on the farm was blowing everywhere, and I got a mild sunburn because I didn't think about the fact that I would need to wear sunscreen in October, but it is Texas, so should have known. I like this dress. However, there are a few flaws with it once again. The shirring is better on this dress than it is on my Be My Guest JSK. However, the main drawback, and something that irks me personally, but I think does make it sort of an intriguing, if you don't know that it wasn't intentional, I think it maybe adds some visual appeal to it. But something I accidentally did, and I don't know for the love of God how I did this, but I somehow, when I was doing the tiers of the skirt, attached one of the tiers partially off center, and when I look at it, it bothers me. However, it also makes it look a little bit asymmetrical, and if you don't think about it too much, you could think that maybe it was intentional to give it the sort of like patchworky Halloween-y type of vibe. And so, you know what? We'll just go with that. We'll just say that that's what I did, and I did it on purpose, and I'm a genius for that, and I know what I'm doing. I am good. I do like this dress. I like the fabric of it, and I got it from a garage sale. It came with some pillows that were of the same print, and they had extra fabric, and that's where I got the fabric. So yeah. Okay, I thought I was missing something for a second.
And now, for our special segment, this year's Forgotten Dress of 2025. This year's uncontested winner of Miss Forgotten Dress, Miss Emily Templecute Cherry OP. Today we honor all of your accomplishments, all of your ladder lace, and all of your embroidered cherries. Miss Forgotten Dress 2025.
Last dress. This is Waltz JSK by Tiny Garden. It is all velveteen and it is very heavy. Yes, which I really like. It has a little bit of corset looking lacing on the bodice on either side in a tiny little line, and then it has pleats right here as well as just several things of lace. It's a really heavy dress and it's really long too. I didn't expect it to be this long when I got it, but it is quite long. It did say on the listing that it is meant for classic, I believe, but I only ever style it in gothic ways. But I do love it because it's velveteen and I love black velvet. I love black velvet. This dress was actually a really good price considering the quality. It's simple, but it's also so beautiful, and it is the longest dress that I have, but I think it works for this particular one. I don't normally love a long dress for me personally in my style, but when I want to wear something that is more serious and gothic, or even I can style it in an old school way, if I want to be more like serious, I'm serious, then then I can often wear this, but you could just wear it casually too. I've done both. A lot of my dresses, you know, are kind of like that. You can dress it up, dress it down. I do enjoy the versatility of pieces like that, pieces that are not necessarily ones that you can only cord in one type of way, though I do have some things like that, of course. But yes, Waltz JSK by Tiny Garden. Now, I do have a couple more things to show as far as main pieces. These are my only... Actually, while I'm on the velveteen train, I might as well show, even though this one's technically like an accessory, I guess. This is my Dandy Puppeteer Jester apron and collar. I'm gonna take the collar off for a second so that way I can, I guess, remove the apron. Didn't think I was gonna be removing it, but I guess that's what I did. Oops. Sort of bent out of sorts right now. I don't really know how that happened. It always happens whenever I wear this for some reason. I don't know why. It just the little things get bent all over the place, and I don't know how it happens. I guess just me moving around. But this is kind of what it looks like when it's on. It can instantly turn you into a jester. You become a jester when you wear this. It is a spiritual transformation as well as physical. You know what? I have the bows somewhere else, but yes, you get the idea from this of what it looks like. You've probably seen it already, but I just love this piece. I could even pair it with this if I wanted to. I'm posing like this whenever I'm a jester. Evil jester. This is the only one that I have. I honestly would have liked to have gotten it in either white colorway or the pink colorway as well, but I didn't have the money. But I did have the money for this one, and I was really glad that I did because I love this apron and collar. Something that I'm shocked that I have yet to do is make a hat of some sort that is like a jester hat, and I don't know why I haven't done that because I love jester themed cords and circus themed cords. I briefly talked earlier about my love for carousels, but I don't just love like carnival themes, which I do love carnival themes, but I don't just love carnival and carousel themes. I also love circus, jester, anything like that in that realm. I usually really like it. I can be very particular about ones that I go for, but once again, black velveteen, such good quality. Can't go wrong. These last two pieces that I'm going to show are sort of my beginnings of my OG wardrobe. So this is technically one of my two OG pieces that I have, and this is in quotes because this is not any sort of brand. This is something that I got from a thrift store, and somebody graciously tailored it for me ahead of time so that I didn't have to do it. One thing that I don't like about it is that like the bottoms are too baggy, sort of. Like they have a wide leg, and I thought about leaving them just the way that they are, but honestly I want them to look more like pumpkin pants, so I'm gonna end up taking them in at some point. But these are just like red tartan shorts, and I pair them in different ways with different tops and vests that I already had that I will show in just a second. I didn't plan on showing too many of my vests and blouses, but honestly I might do a quick run through. I might do first like cut sews and then vests because I do think some of those are very crucial to my wardrobe, so they're important to show. Yeah, these shorts, I just thought it was crazy that they were just at the thrift store. Somebody had already altered them. I believe they were probably men's shorts before, or maybe not even shorts. I'm honestly not sure, but they had already like done it like this, and I just have to like... One thing I'm going to do with these in the future is I'm going to probably add a white lace. I think I want to do on the trim of these, and potentially too I'm gonna do white lace on the pockets. I just want more accents on this because I do like the pattern, but I want it to be more accented so it really reads as OG. So yes, that is these. Last thing that is hanging on the rack, these OG shorts from the Chinese indie brand Princess Chronicles. These are a pair of pumpkin shorts. They are shorter than the red tartan ones, but obviously they have more of a pumpkin poof on them. They have a little bow on the side, which is really cute. And I do hopefully plan on getting at least a few more shorts, maybe pants in the future. One thing that I've learned about myself with OG is that I only really like it on myself if it's either gothic or punk leaning. And I couldn't really quite put a finger on why whenever I was trying to think about it the other day. Because I do like Sweet Lolita and I like wearing Sweet Lolita, but something about when I wear OG, I just want to be gothic and partially even want to try more like aristocratic looking looks if I'm serious enough for that, because I'm kind of a silly little guy. But one thing that I do really like about these before I put them away, because I almost just did, is these little buttons. And this has like a little thing that goes over it, but you can also take it off, and that's just like the regular, you know, flying button, just regular style. Not too much to say about these. They're just black pumpkin shorts. They have little buttons on the bottom as well. The last part of my wardrobe that I think I'm going to show, I debated on whether or not I was going to show it, but I do think that they are crucial for my skirt cords, is outerwear type pieces and my cut sews that I have. Not necessarily blouses that I have, because that's going to take too long. I will get to those really quickly. I will not take too long to describe each one, but I will show those. And I'm not going to show every single one of these, like every single piece of outerwear that I have, but I am going to show the ones that are particularly like stand out, you know. This is a milk cardigan, and I believe the Lola Berry listing calls it the milk chained donut cardigan because it has a donut chain that you can really see across the back. It's a chain of donuts. Ironically, this is the only donut print I own, so I told myself when I got this that, oh, I'm getting it to match my other donut stuff, even though I really do not have anything else that is donut themed. I do have some prints with donuts on them. I believe Welcome to the Sweets Hexen House has a few donuts, and maybe some of the other like sweets themed prints do, but it is funny how this doesn't match a lot of them. I end up pairing it with anything that I can pair with a greenier mint or brown oftentimes. So that kind of limits the pieces, because it's this peachy pink that is the same sort of, it's not the same peachy pink even as Fruity Cafe, so it doesn't even match that. And I'm not all matchy. I'm not like, I don't have to have everything always matchy, but these aren't even the same peach. And whenever I found that out, I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But it is cute, and I do like that it gives you options to pair it with other pinks, I feel, because I see the bright pink in it that is almost like a hot pink, or maybe just like, I don't know, bright pink, Barbie pink, whatever color you want to call that. And I love the little buttons that I'll show really quick. Obviously the fur collar. The fur is a little bit older. It's a faux fur, you know, but it's like a little bit like not, but it's still really soft. It's not like matted. It just doesn't look like as like floofy. There's like areas where it's more like, you know, just not brand new looking essentially. And I love the little buttons because they look like tiny little gumballs to me. But yeah, that's this cardigan. I told myself I wouldn't talk too long. We're gonna speed through the rest of this. This is a crochet vest that I made. I made it originally to go with Rainbow Dollhouse, mostly because I had a cord that I did in June for Pride Month that was all rainbow, and I wanted a pastel rainbow, and so I made this, and I never wore it with Rainbow Dollhouse because I didn't finish it in time. It has, if I button it up, and that's all you really need to see because the bottom button is also blue, but it has two different color buttons, and I kind of did like a different little stitch besides just the standard. I sort of like alternated certain things to make it like give it some interest in the pattern. And I also thought that I could wear it with Berry K as well. This was trying to tell me something. So this one, I believe, is called Ice Cream Print, and I get confused because there is another Baby the Stars Shine Bright. So once again, I'm a liar. This is my third baby piece. Oh my god. I'm the biggest liar there ever was. But this is a Baby the Stars Shine Bright dress that plagued my mind in a good way. In a good way and a bad way. It sort of taunted me. After the first time that I let it get away from me, I got it on US Mercari, actually. I got this for a really good price though, know, but I think the reason that I got it for a really good price because there are stains that I have to treat on it that unfortunately I don't believe were disclosed. I'm looking forward to wearing it once I get the stains out, and I wish I would have known that before, but I did get it for a really good price. And I almost forgot about it because it was just hanging in the corner all by its lonesome. But yes, I do love the little scallop on the bottom, and I love the photorealistic ice creams, and I love the ladder lace with the pink satin ribbon and the cotton crochet lace. Love a good cotton crochet lace. Okay, one more thing I have to point out about this. Don't get me wrong, I love an ice cream print because I love sweet prints, and I love the polka dots, once again with the polka dots, but the thing that I really, really like about this, which gives me a little chuckle and a little chortle, yes, there it is. On the print, it says, I heart scream. I don't know why I like that so much. I heart scream. I just love that it's like I heart scream. I just imagine like a little Lolita gremlin creature just like screaming. I heart scream. Ah! It's really not that funny in general, but it's funny to me because of the mental image that it conjures up. There is a print that is just like this, but it's a different cut from Baby, you know? And it's called I Heart Scream. This is not it. This is ice cream print, and you should know the difference. These are not the same, and you should know this. I wish that this one was called I Heart Scream, but alas, it is ice cream print, and I'm okay with that. Now that I've gone completely out of order and completely insane, the polka dot chocolate cut sew, I'm not sure if it's called a cut sew or if it's called the hoodie because it has a little hood. I love the screen print on this. I love the way it looks with the colorways. It reminds me of this clock that I used to have that I got rid of when I was younger because I was stupid, but it was like a retro looking sort of 60s mod type of clock where it had like the numbers floating out. The numbers almost looked like those on the marionette clock. One thing that I don't like about this is that the type of like sticker or paint or whatever it is that they printed it on with is really, really cheap, and it had tags on it still when I got it, but despite that, it's cracking. I'm gonna not stretch it too much because I don't want to completely destroy it. But yes, it is cracking. It was new with tags. I didn't know that it was new with tags whenever I got it because I got it from Wonderwelt, and I don't even think that they said that it was new with tags, and so when it came with tags I was super excited. But then when I put it on for the first time, it immediately started cracking, which was a bummer, but I do still love it anyway, and I will still wear it. And I paired it with that sack skirt that I made that is a little wonky, but I did like the colors of that cord. Next thing, crochet sweater vest. I like making reversible pieces, not just because I think that it's a fun little thing, even when you can't see that it's reversible, to just like know that it's reversible, but also it just makes it more versatile. Reversible equals versatile. Versatile? Versatile. I don't know. But I have made several iterations of the sweater vest. I got the inspiration of the pattern from a cake. Of all things, I love cakes. The stitch that I really like is in the middle, which is the puff stitch, and it gives the illusion in my mind of like a little icing tuft like on the edges of a cake, and you know, I really like that. And I did this one, unlike my other ones, with a little scallop trim on the arms, because the other ones I did a rib knit like I did on the bottom, but on this one I did the scallop trim so that way it doesn't cover up the blouse underneath whatever you're wearing too much, because I made this one intentionally to wear with Lolita. That's another thing about this one, is that I made it shorter than the other patterns that I made. This side is meant to look more like hot chocolate, and so you can also think of the icing part as like little marshmallows. That's what I think of it as. And then this side is mint chocolate, and I will kind of bring it closer so you can sort of see, has like creamy. And the other side, one thing that I did that I really liked is that this side has like a cream colorway on the lighter parts, and then the other side has stark white. So there's that. We found a vest, finally. In the years and years of searching, we finally found it. Yes, this vest I've only worn with one cord so far, but plan on wearing it more in the future, and this is just one that I got secondhand on ThreadUp, but I thought it was kind of cool with, once again, that side corset lacing sort of detail and the corset lacing on the front. One thing that I will probably change out about it in the future, but I don't know, I do kind of like the bulkiness of the lacing, that it's almost like a shoelace right now, but I think I want to change it for different lace, potentially even black lacing, like a black ribbon, like a thin black ribbon. I don't know, think maybe would be cool. Something else, you know, and maybe add a little bit of ornamentation like lace around here, or maybe just ribbon. Not entirely sure, but next thing I'm going to show is actually two different things because it is the same vest in two different colorways. This one I wear a lot, this one not so much. Yes, this does need to be ironed really bad. I don't know why the pockets go up like that whenever this one doesn't do that. Not entirely sure. And it's funny that I actually think I have corded this once, but like I don't wear it as often because it's gray and I don't usually find as much use for gray as I do like the sort of charcoal-y finish of this one. And I've also turned it inside out. I cut the tag out so that way I could turn it inside out and use it for the pattern on the other side. This is once again that sort of turquoise. Ooh, I could put this with my spooky macarons. That's something that I hadn't thought about before. Either way, these are vests that I have had since you would think that I got these when I was a little kid, but no, they were given to me when I was a teenager and we had like a photo shoot thing to do for, I believe, like a church catalog back when I used to go to church. I don't know if you've ever seen those church directories where you take the family photos and it almost feels like those 80s family photos where they're like posed and they have like the mom and dad like faded out to the side. It wasn't quite that campy, almost a yearbooky type of thing. But yes, I got these during that time. I think one of them might have been my sister's, but she didn't want it, so I snatched it up. They go really well with skirts and with OG. So this is a cut sew that I am very proud of. It is short sleeve cut sew from Black Piece Now or Piece Now. I'm not entirely sure what the history is on the difference of the labels. I know that they started off as Black Piece Now and then they started putting labels as just Piece Now. But regardless of all that, I do love this and I'm so glad that I got it. It says Sweet Revenge and it's sort of like a poison strawberry. Barbed wire strawberry. It has barbed wires around it. It's glitter in the print. I love this piece. I almost think of it as a main piece because of just how cool the screen print is. I wear it a lot. I like it a lot. Then of course we have Milk 38th anniversary cake t-shirt, cut sew, print thingy, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's designated as. It's not listed on Lowlibrary, I don't think. And this might have been just like, I'm assuming because it says 38th anniversary that it might have been like something that you could only get in a shop during that time, but it's just so cute. One little detail that I really like is like the little chocolate star amongst the maraschino cherries, and also there's a little charm on the bow, you know, a little milk charm. It has that bright pink. Maybe this one's more of a Barbie pink, but I pair all of the bright and dark pinks that I have together anyway because I just love it. And a little heart on the back that says milk. And this one actually fits not super tight too, which I really like because it is a medium. It actually fits like a medium, I will say. One thing I will say though, that it does make me crave and yearn for, that I missed out on because I saw a listing and I missed it, is Happy Cake by Metamorphose. Once again, that will be, if I ever get my hands on it, a skirt that'll be a really tight fit. But I want it. I'm looking for it. If you are selling it, I will find it. But no worries, you know? No worries if not, you know? Another cut sew that I'm going to talk about really quickly is my other Milk cut sew, the one that I just showed, and this one I also got in that same Wonderweld haul. And this one is just one with little cherries all over it, black and white, so it matches really well with my Putumayo asymmetrical skirt. And yeah, it's cute. It is simple. The mesh that comprises the sleeves has little stars on it. This one is a little bit tight and short for my liking, but because I am always pairing it with a skirt or something that fits high-waisted, it's never really a problem. So there's that. Another Putumayo piece, which, once again, these cut sews, I almost consider them as main pieces, even though they're just tops. This one is also not listed on Lowlibrary. If I had to name it, I would just say like the Alice Turtle Soup print, because it's talking about making, or maybe mock turtle soup print. It is a screen print. And once again, it does that thing that Putumayo loves to do, which it is a silhouette, shows like the picture is a silhouette. I feel so bad. It's like a poor little armadillo being like, no, please don't make the mock turtle soup. I used to be a turtle. And he's like really distressed, and it makes me feel super bad for him. But once again, it's these funny little details that make me love it. Next, we have Putumayo cardigan. This one does have a name. Print does have a name though. And it's something like Cross Garden. I'll put the name here. It is a cool looking cardigan though. It's littered with crosses and little skeleton keys and roses. Fun fact about me with roses, I don't really love them unless they are in a gothic print. To me, I often think of Putumayo as a punk Lolita brand, but pieces like this to me, while it can be punk, I do think that this is a little more gothic, which I think is kind of cool. Could be styled very much so in a VK way. I don't know if I'd consider this a cardigan or a bolero because it has like a high-low sort of effect. I love the bell effect of the sleeves as well. And the last one I'm going to show is this piece that is from God knows where, that I got off of ThreadUp. I love it because the buckles. It could even be from Spirit Halloween. I genuinely don't know where it came from. It's made of a stretchy kind of spandexy material, which I could see being super off-putting, but I like it because it makes it fitted, and I personally don't mind that material. I know that some people don't like it, but I actually weirdly kind of like it, even though it's a little swimsuity. Love the buckles across it. I have worn it over my Night of the Pumpkin JSK that I've made, and it's cool in that way with the buckles. No, I do have one more thing to show. Almost forgot about ya. This is another piece that I wore out in the snow. If you follow my Instagram, you probably already knew that. This is a Metamorphose old school cardigan. I don't know what year it's from, but it's cool looking. I love the embroidery that says Metamorphose Tante Fille on it. And the little bow and the little pearlies, and has heart buttons all the way down. The thing that's interesting to me about it is that, and I guess you can just leave the bottom unbuttoned, which is what I usually do when I wear it, but I just find it a little odd that it's not cropped. Because to me, when I think of something that would go with Lolita, I think of like cropped things, and clearly this is made by Meta. I guess like Meta doesn't only make Lolita pieces, they've made things that are like totally not Lolita, but at the same time, to me this feels like it would be very old schooly, but I guess like I said, you know, you could just leave the bottom unbuttoned, which is what I do. One more piece I do have to show is Eternal Carnival by Angelic Pretty, which is currently on my dress form that I got for Christmas. You can kind of see the print there a little bit. I have my petticoat on the dress form, and so it's kind of deflating, unfortunately, but I think you get a good idea of it. I have yet to wear it, but hopefully this cord will turn out nicely once I put it with a headpiece. Ding! So that is it for my wardrobe tour. In the future, I might show some more accessories that I have, because I have a ton of different accessories as well. I don't know if I'm gonna do individual accessory tours or just like show them throughout time, but I plan on making some other fun stuff hopefully in the future. So if you feel so inclined, do like and subscribe. If you wanna comment something down below, then sure. So that'll be it for now. I am going crazy because I've been recording this for hours. I have been recording all day. This is gonna be forever to cut, even though I have editing software now. But I'm glad that I finally did this, even though it was a lot more of a journey than I thought it was going to be. I have been wanting to make something for my channel for years, and I think this is a good start. So I will see you on the flip side. Bye.